Right.
All right. Hello, my name is Beth from the Education Alliance. The Education Alliance exists to mobilize business and community support for public schools. And one of the things that we are passionate about is partnerships to increase college access for students. So today's virtual visit is made possible with support from the West Virginia Higher Education Policy Commission. So today we are very excited to be talking with West Virginia Tech University. We're going to have a 50-minute virtual college visit from them. Throughout the visit, I'm going to be stopping for some question and answer time, and we want you to interact with us. So when I ask a question, pause, talk to your students, and then chat your class's answers. If at any time your students have any questions, we would like for you to send those to us in the chat. So let's practice that, please. So what I want you to do is please chat your school name and how many students are with you today. So use the chat feature, tell us your school name and an estimation, or if you know the exact number, how many students are with us today. And while you guys are doing that, I just want to say we are really happy to have Cabell County Schools here. We're happy to have Montcalm Elementary, their 6th grade class here, and also Poca Middle School today. Yeah, we have a lot of students today. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay. Thank you so much for chatting your school name and how many students. At this time, I'm going to turn the tour over to Jordan Smith from West Virginia University Institute of Technology. Welcome, Jordan.
Thank you. Thank you. Glad to be here. First, I want to point out that I love the energy from Montcalm this morning. I can see how excited everyone is. I see you guys cheering. I'm glad you bring that energy. Hopefully, we'll have that to the end of the tour. So I'm going to jump in and we're going to talk a little bit about WVU Tech. So we're going to start with an aerial photo of our campus. The good thing about Tech is it's very hard to get lost and it's not very intimidating. We're small, we're easy to navigate. So let's say you're coming to class for the first day and you're a little nervous, you've got your schedule in your hand and you're not necessarily sure what direction you're going to be going in. If you run into any of our faculty or staff in the parking lot, we can usually point you in a little, just turn you around a little bit and be like, it's right over there, because it is super hard to get lost here. But yeah, our whole campus, except for maybe 1 or 2 buildings, are all on this street right here. That is South Kanawha Street in beautiful uptown Beckley. And a little bit about the city of Beckley for those who aren't familiar. We are the 9th largest city in the state of West Virginia. We have a population of about 17,000, but during the course of a business day, Beckley gets a lot more crowded than 17,000. In southern West Virginia, we are the primary shopping destination, recreation destination, dining destination for a lot of families and people who work in the community. So if you're familiar with southern West Virginia and the geography here, you've got a lot of outlying towns and cities, but Beckley is the primary municipality of the region. And that's why we see a lot of activity more so in Beckley than we do other parts of the state during the course of business day. We're located in the heart of Beckley, and there's a lot to do around us. Maybe you want to grab something to eat off campus that day. We have a variety of restaurants. I know my supervisor, when he gives this presentation, he's always going on and on about our Chick-fil-A's. We actually have 2 Chick-fil-A's in town. So if you want your chicken fix, you've definitely got it here in town. And we also have a variety of WVU campus resources on WVU Tech's campus. So to explain that a little more, we are West Virginia Tech. We are the Golden Bears, that's our mascot, but we are a division of West Virginia University. So we're a small university campus with large university resources. So even though you might be studying with us here in Beckley, you are actually a part of the West Virginia University system and part of the flagship university of the state of West Virginia. So I like to call it the best of both worlds. I'm the type of guy that I need that interactive sort of immersion when it comes to learning about a college campus. Some kids like the larger environment, but for me, that's why I chose Tech. Tech was just a small campus with a great vibe, and that's what did it for me. But we have a WVU Launch Lab on campus. Think of that as a small business hive or a small business incubator, a place for entrepreneurs or people who are trying to start their own business someday to get their projects off the ground. So you will have the opportunity, if you go to our launch lab, to use their 3D printer. Maybe you want to design a prototype of a part or a design that you want to build someday and manufacture for a business. You can actually, for a much cheaper price, you can actually go in for free, use our 3D printer, make that design, get an idea if it's the right dimensions, and then you can mass produce that later. But it all starts with our launch lab. We also have a division of the WVU School of Nursing on our campus. And what I mean by a division is that is the exact same nursing degree that you would get at WVU in Morgantown, or that you would get at Potomac State College over in our eastern panhandle of the state. We all share the same WVU School of Nursing program, and that's a very, very immersive program, very interactive. It's growing every single year, and the world definitely needs more nurses right now. And if you're interested in that, we've got you covered in the WVU system. We also have an extension office on campus. We have a WVU School of Medicine division as well. And what we mean by that is you can study pre-med with us, get your 4-year bachelor's degree, which is what we offer at Tech. And then you can actually transition that into going on to med school someday, wherever you would like to become a doctor. So a little bit about campus at a glance. We were founded in 1895, so we've been around for a long time. We have about 1,600 students, and we are almost a 50-50 male-female split. So we're a very, very balanced campus, so to speak. 15% of our population on our campus are from outside the state of West Virginia, meaning those students came from another state to Tech for college. We have over 50 of West Virginia's 55 counties represented. So just about all parts of the state are represented in our student population. 10% of our students, nearly 10%, are international, coming from over 30 countries. So you'll have a class with students from all over the world, and we are 17% minority. So for a small campus, we're a very diverse campus. We're a very inclusive campus. We have 2 academic colleges. Think of those as departments. So let's say that you're wanting to study engineering someday. We have what we call the Leonard C. Nelson College of Engineering and Sciences. They have a specific dean, or in college terms, what you would refer to as a principal or an assistant principal, someone who oversees those group of programs. So if you're into anything science related, STEM related, technology, math, whatever the case may be, you're going to have the accreditation and you're going to have the signature of the dean of that college on your diploma someday. Let's say you're coming to study for business management like I did, or psychology like my wife did. You will be in the College of Business, Humanities, and Social Sciences. So that's a separate department on campus that has their own dean that oversees their degrees. And a lot of people don't know, our name's a little misleading. People think at first glance that Tech means we're a technical school, or we're a trade school, or a career center. Those are all great things, but that's not what we are. We are a 4-year university, and we are a division of West Virginia University. So just like any other school that you may speak with or hear presentations from over the next month or so, every school, we're in that same category. We are a 4-year bachelor's degree giving school. We have over 30 degrees of study. 12-to-1 student faculty ratio, and an average class size of 17. And I know when I was your age, not to discredit anyone on this presentation, but when I was your age, I had no idea what those numbers meant, and I didn't know why they were telling me stuff about that. So to explain that, that means that we are small, but we're inclusive. That means that you are an individual here, you're not a number here. So I always use the term, you're more than just a number. And that sounds like a cliche. It sounds like something they say on a commercial or something to kind of catch your attention. But truly, I'm an alum of the institution. I graduated here. My family went here. I can tell you from personal experience and stories of others. Tech is a very, very it's a very tight-knit family. It's very inclusive, and the students who come here, when they look back, yes, they get a quality education, but they also have the opportunity to look back and say they wouldn't trade that experience for anything, because it is way more unique than you would find at a lot of other larger institutions. We have 18 NAI athletic teams, so that's very similar to the NCAA, kind of similar to NCAA Division II. So we play a lot of those teams from around the state in our athletic programs. And we have over 40 student organizations or clubs on campus. And this is a list, and you don't have to read it in detail. I'll hit some of the highlights, some of our achievements. So the first one that you see there, most people ask me, well, why do you have a line that says you had an annual increase in enrollment from 2012 to 2019? What about 20, 21, 22? So the reason we show this is because it shows we are trending in the right direction. Our school has grown, whether that be one new student or 50 new students. Our school has grown each and every year from 2012 to 2019. But a lot of you probably remember, or your family remembers, and if you don't, your teachers definitely remember, in 2020, we had a crisis. We had the COVID-19 pandemic. So a lot of things changed. Some students were more reluctant to go away from home for college. Some students decided to transfer back home for college. Maybe they were going further away. But anyway, a lot of schools' enrollment suffered across the country in 2020. But if I give you this same presentation a year from now or 2 years from now, you're going to see a new line start. It's going to say 2021 and 2022, and it's climbing from there. So we just like to show that we were trending in the right direction, and we're definitely going to be picking up where we left off here in the near future. We have 9 fully accredited engineering programs. So we have ABET accreditation, or ABET. That is the Accreditation Board for Engineering and Technology. That is the gold standard for engineering accreditation worldwide. Schools like Virginia Tech, Georgia Tech, MIT, some of the best schools in the country have that same accreditations. That's really a good family of schools to be associated with. We're #1 in West Virginia for return on investment, and that's a fancy way of saying bang for your buck. That means that our students are going out into the workforce after graduation and making more money on average than any other school's graduates in the state of West Virginia. Now, I'm not saying that to discredit any other institution. I'm just going off the data that we've been provided with. Now, does that mean that you're going to go out and make $1 million day one? I can't promise you that. But what I can tell you that the data supports is that our students graduate with their degrees and they make more money on average, and they're in a better position than most are. So that's really a good ranking. That's something that we talk about a lot, and we've consistently kept that ranking for the last, as far as I know, at least the last 5 years, if not more. We're also ranked in the top 15% for salary potential nationwide. So that's not just being the best in West Virginia, but that's also being among the best outside of West Virginia. We are in the top 100 undergraduate engineering schools in the country. For those of you who aren't familiar, the term undergraduate means students seeking a bachelor's degree or a 4-year education in their field. And of course, you can see some other rankings there, but those are the highlights. Those are the ones that we talk about most. The mobility ranking is something that we're proud of. We also are top 19, we're #19 of top public regional schools in the South. I know there's an age-old debate. Is West Virginia the North? Is West Virginia the South? But in our cluster of schools in our region, we are considered a Southern school, and we are top 20 in terms of a regional institution.
Jordan, I'm going to stop you right there. And before we move any further, I'd like to just take a moment and see if we have any questions. So teachers, we'd love for you guys to interact. So ask your students if there's one question at this point that they would like to ask Jordan about WVU Tech based on what they've learned so far, or something they're hoping to get an answer for as we continue with the rest of this virtual visit. And Jordan, while we are waiting on some of these students to think of some questions, I wanted to ask you, because obviously West Virginia Tech is very unique and it's got a lot of good things, but I want to ask you on a personal level, since you've worked there, I think you said for about 9 years now, and you also went to school there. What's the one thing about West Virginia Tech that you find the most appealing?
Well, I touched a little bit on it in the presentation, but when I look back at it, the big thing that I like to talk about when I talk about my experience at Tech is there really is no intimidation factor whatsoever. I just felt like when I came to my classes that they were small enough that I could ask the questions that I needed. But I also had my space as well to go to the places on campus that I needed resources. Like maybe I needed to go to the Learning Commons. I needed to study in a quiet place for a little bit. But then I also had the ability to talk to my faculty on a first name basis. And a lot of my faculty members became lifelong friends and job references and a variety of different things. So the most unique aspect of tech is not only its size, but it's the network that you get to build while you're a student here. I wouldn't trade that experience for anything, and I wouldn't trade the relationships that I built here for anything either.
Thank you. Well, it looks like we can move on. We did not get any questions, but again, guys, we'd love to hear from you. So as we continue, throw any questions in the chat that you would like for us to. Oh, I'm sorry. We do have a question from Montcalm Elementary. Our students asked if there are CJ classes, and I'm
going to assume criminal justice.
I'm assuming that as well.
Okay. So,
and also computer and coding classes.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so I'll talk about criminal justice first. We do have a criminal justice degree here. And what I'll do is I'll actually go ahead while I'm talking so you have a second to look at it. I'm going to go to the next slide, which has our programs to study. But criminal justice, we do have a degree in that. We have a variety of classes in that, as well as computers. I know, what was it, computer engineering and coding? Was that the question?
Yes.
We do have computer engineering and we have computer science. We don't necessarily have a coding degree, not to say that our students don't have a wealth of knowledge in that field within their courses they take to obtain that degree. But the big computer programs that we have are computer engineering, computer science. We also have information systems, which is if you want to go on to be like a troubleshooter or be like customer support or an IT specialist someday. And then we also have a computer science degree with an emphasis in cybersecurity. So that's become a popular field as of late. Any other questions or anything?
Well, we had a question about tuition, and I'm assuming that you will hit on that later on in the presentation.
Yeah, I know I have a final set of next steps and things I'm going to talk about, but if I don't have it literally printed on a slide, I will definitely talk about it for sure.
Great. Okay, thank you.
No problem. So here are our programs to study. We talked a little bit about the computer programs. I'll just talk about some of the programs that we get a lot of questions about and that we see a lot of applications in. By far, nursing is one of the most popular fields for applicants. Now, there is some, there are differences in, do you go into direct nursing? Do you go into pre-nursing? But regardless, we have students that are always interested in talking about our nursing program. Engineering is obviously going to be popular. West Virginia Tech is known for engineering. Mechanical engineering is one of our more popular programs. And one that I want to point out, mainly because there's a big gold arrow pointing at it and it's highlighted, is our hospitality and culinary program. So that is a new program. That is the only 2-year degree on our campus. Everything we offer is a 4-year traditional bachelor's degree, but we have a 2-year associate degree in culinary. That is technically a diploma through Potomac State College, which is a sister school of WVU Tech. But legally, Potomac State could offer 2-year associate degrees because they're primarily what you call a junior college. So where we're part of the same system and we already had a location on our campus with a top-notch world-class kitchen, and we had a faculty member on staff that was already an expert in the culinary arts and has her education in that, we actually worked directly with Potomac State and with WVU in Morgantown to offer the first culinary degree in our region. So we're very proud of that, and that's a fast-growing program. I feel like even though it's one of our smaller programs, I feel like each semester that we recruit for that, we are seeing the numbers go up each and every semester, and that's only been out since I want to say 2020, maybe 2021. So go ahead and jump to the next one. And we also have some pre-professional tracks. So let's say that you want to get your bachelor's degree, but you want to go on for more, maybe get a master's degree. Maybe you want to go on to become a doctor or a veterinarian, a lawyer, things like that. So we do have pre-professional tracks or areas of emphasis that you can specialize your degree in, and then you can use that to get admitted to grad school someday to get a master's degree or a doctorate somewhere that offers those programs. We also have 2 residence halls on campus, also known as dorms. So we have Hogan Hall, which is our underclassmen dorm. That's where freshmen and sophomores would live at. And then we have University Hall, where our juniors and seniors would live at. So Hogan Hall is a traditional dorm. You're going to have a traditional roommate. You're going to share a living arrangement with that person, and you'll also share your restroom and your shower with that person. Now, when you get to University Hall as a junior or a senior, then you actually get a single room. So that's the layout for everything, and there is no price difference in a Hogan Hall or a University Hall. It is the same flat rate for both of those. Both dorms have high-speed internet. They have kitchenette locations where you can go make food if you'd rather not eat in the cafeteria or you'd rather not go out and get anything that day. And we also have fitness areas, laundry rooms, and game rooms. Dining services, we have what's called the Bears Den, which is a cute name for our cafeteria because we are the Golden Bears. So it is a 7-day-a-week cafeteria. It's buffet style, a little different than what you're used to now in the public school system. Now you might have like a set menu item that's going to be like your lunch menu that specific day. We'll still have a menu item that changes daily, so you have variety, but you also have some what I call staple items that are always going to be there. So let's say you want a salad every day, we've got a salad bar. Let's say you want pizza every day, we've got a pizza bar. Let's say you're like me and you're a creature of habit and you could eat the same sandwich every day. There is a sandwich station as well. So you have a very good variety of food in our dining hall, and that is a very popular place on campus. Also, right down the hall from the Bears Den, we have what we call the Tech Spot. The Tech Spot is a grab-and-go cafe with prepackaged menu items. So maybe not a full-scale buffet, but it'll have like a, buy it and heat it up type sandwiches. And we also have a Starbucks there. So we can brew you the same drinks that any Starbucks can. Any fancy drink they have, you can get it there. But it is a lot smaller than a regular Starbucks. But the cool thing about it is you can use it as part of your meal plan. So our meal plans, you can get 10 per week, 15 per week, or 19 per week. It really just depends on how much food you want. And you can swipe your ID card that has your meal money on it at the Bears Den or the Tech Spot, and you'll get your meal covered based off of your meal plan right then and there. So I mentioned earlier that we have student clubs and organizations. This is just a snapshot of a few that we offer. So we have two divisions of clubs. We have academic clubs and we have social clubs. So an academic club is going to be associated with a degree of study. So let's say that you are in getting a psychology degree. You might want to join the psychology club. Biology, might want to join the biology club. When I was a student, I was in what's called SHRM, or SHRM, the Society for Human Resource Management. And that is a club that a lot of our business management students, or sometimes accountants, even join. But forensics is also a popular club, and every club does different things. I know psychology has each year they work with our forensic investigation program, and during what the kids call spooky season in October, November, in that era, you actually can do an escape room at our forensic reenactment crime scene house. So we have a house on campus that is dedicated to our forensics program, and it's literally a murder mystery house. So you'll have like the mannequins that look like a person's been attacked or been injured or been murdered. They'll have the fake blood. They'll have the it's really cool. Like, I don't want to spoil too much of it, but it's really cool. And I feel like that is something that if you guys ever came to campus, you'd really like. And you don't have to be in those clubs to go to the escape room. You could, they host those as a fundraiser. They might charge a few dollars for a ticket or for a raffle ticket or something like that. And you can actually utilize that to get into that and have a little bit of fun in the escape room. We also have social organizations. So we have an esports club on campus. So if you like to play video games, we've got you covered. And we also have an esports team in our athletic program. So whether you want to do it competitively or you want to do it leisurely, we have a full-scale esports lab with Alienware computers. They have the blue backlights. Like, it is a legit gaming setup. But that's one of our social clubs. Talked about Beckley earlier, and something about Beckley, in addition to the food and the shopping and the movie theater and things like that, is our outdoor recreation. So outdoor recreation is in abundance here. We have about a 15-minute drive to the New River Gorge National Park, which is the nation's newest national park. We also, or at least it was when I made this presentation. I don't know if there's many new ones pop up since. Don't want to lie on camera. So we also have Winter Place Ski Resort, which is maybe a 20-25 minute drive from campus. And we have a lot of hiking, rafting, zip lining, mountain biking. Really, there's even the bridge walk over in the New River Gorge where you can go under the New River Gorge and walk across that, which is really cool because that's one of the highest and longest bridges in the world. So just a lot to do here other than just go to class. I mean, you can go to class and you can broaden your mind, but you can also go out into the world and do things you might not have done at home. Here is a breakdown of our athletic programs that we offer. We have 18 varsity programs, both men's and women's sports. Some of those overlap, like track and field, cross country, esports, things like that. All of our programs are very competitive. Our baseball team, as a matter of fact, has a very cool opportunity this year for those of you. This might apply more to POCA geographically than the rest, but our baseball team is actually playing all of their games in Charleston this year at what's formerly known as Power Park. I think now it's Go-Mart Ball Field. But yeah, if you guys ever want to come out and check out the Golden Bears in action, they just had their first home game, I want to say this past weekend, and we got a win. So we got to christen the new ballpark turf. But if you guys ever want to come out and check us out, it'd be a great experience. But at basketball, of course, all of our other teams play here in the Beckley community, but baseball just had a really cool opportunity to go down there and play at a professional field, which I thought was really neat this year. But yeah, our students are great on the field, on the playing surface, but also in the classroom. You can see there we've had 36 scholar athletes in the last year or so, a lot of all conference athletes. We actually had a boy on our basketball team this year who was named the River States Conference Champion of Character, which means that pretty much goes to the best human being. Maybe you're not the best on the court, but that means that you actually are a good human being, and that shows the type of student athlete that we have here at Tech. You know, it's easy. I mean, it's not easy, but sometimes it's one thing to be good on the court, but to actually be a good Samaritan, that's a totally different thing. And we build both here.
Campus I'm going to stop you right there for a second.
Go right ahead.
Thank you. Sorry. Well, I just want to stop for a question and answer session and give you a break from talking for a minute. Just because you just went over a lot of stuff. And I always personally think that hearing the social aspect of college can be really exciting for students. I think personally going to college, that it's such a time where you can find yourself and find other like-minded friends or lifelong associates through these social clubs that you have, and even the academic clubs that you have. So I just wanted to ask the students to think about what's something surprising that you've learned so far. And while they're doing that, I'll just say that I was surprised by the culinary degree that you guys have added in 2020. And I just think that's something that's become very popular in our society. And I love that Tech has added that degree to their list and having the culinary arts. So for me personally, that's the thing I was most surprised about. So as some of them are thinking about questions, we have a student that asked if there was a Rocket League option for esports.
Yeah, so I'm pretty certain, don't quote me, I'm pretty certain there is. Actually, I'm definitely certain. I got that confused with another game for some reason. But yes, we do have a Rocket League team. I know there are a variety of games they play. The cool thing to remember, and I actually learned this at a conference last summer, I was not super familiar with how the esports games, like, of course I love to game, but I'm a PlayStation guy. I'm not a big PC guy, and most of their stuff's on a PC. But the games that you will see competitively in esports leagues, mainly for schools in the public school system or the higher education system, are free to play games. So pretty much any free to play game that you're going to compete at home is going to be something that we would offer a team for as well. But the way they've explained it to me is in terms of games that we might not compete in right now. If you join the team, or you talk to the coach and say, hey, I'd like to join the team, what do I have to do? If you're good at a specific game, and maybe you and 1 to 2 other team members are good at that specific game, they will consider competing in that specific game. So And the cool thing is gaming, you think it's just stationary, like you think you're just at the in the chair all the time, but that's actually not the case. Yes, you can compete with a lot of different schools from our lab here on campus, but our students also can travel and go to different events, and LAN events is what they call them, at different states. Like our esports team was just at Virginia Beach last week and actually won a competition down there. So there's plenty of opportunities other than just sitting in the gaming chair.
That leads me to a question, Jordan. I'm wondering, so that you guys have 40 plus student organizations. How attainable is it for a student to make their own club, or, make their own esports team, like you said? I mean, is that relatively easy for a student to do if they take the initiative?
Yeah, so different clubs are going to be, different costs, obviously. So the esports club was a derivative of the esports team, which was funded by our athletic program. And that was fairly easy to start because the university budget was paying for that. Now, let's say that you want to start a tennis club. That's a lot easier to accomplish because the cost of rackets is only X amount of money, location, things like that. But let's say you want to start, I'm using this very generically. Let's say you want to start a club in underwater basket weaving. So if you're going to start your club, it's as simple, I'm not going to say it's easy, but it's as simple as going to the Student Government Association, which is a committee that we have on campus of students that oversee the student clubs. And you will give them a club proposal or a budget proposal, and you will talk to them about the feasibility of the project that you're trying to accomplish. So I myself, I've never started a club, but I know when I was a student here in SHRM that I went and I actually had to go to a budget meeting one time for a conference we wanted to go to. And if they think that something's feasible enough, they'll actually donate part of their budget that's allotted to SGA. So we got $800 just for going to a conference in Kentucky. So yeah, you do have the opportunity to start a club, but it has to be feasible. Like well, if you have a good plan and a good proposal, it's easy to do. But if you go in blind, I warn you not to do that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I love to hear that college is more than just going and learning. It's also fun and just a lot more to offer than just academics.
Yeah,
So
it's
thank
an
you for sharing
ecosystem
that
for
with
sure.
us.
Yeah.
Okay, let's continue.
All right. So kind of starting to wind down the stretch here as far as the slides go, so to speak. So I'm going to try to explain why I picked the slides that I have here for you. So campus safety. Right now at your age, for most of the students here, you might not be thinking as much about the campus community other than just, hey, what school, coolest to me, who has what I want. But when you get to the age where you're starting to tour college campuses and you're applying to colleges, your families as well as yourself are going to have a lot of questions about safety and, where I'm actually sending my child to. So campus safety is a huge part of the WVU Tech experience. We have a campus police station on campus dedicated strictly to protecting our buildings, our students, our faculty, our staff, anywhere from 6 to 7, I believe, fully certified State Police Academy graduates are on that police force. They have the same jurisdiction as any municipal cop in the state of West Virginia would have. They're not just security guards, they are actually police officers. But they patrol, they're always here to help you if you have an issue, and they're really in close proximity. They're like, I can look out my window right now and they're right across the street. Our public areas are monitored by video surveillance, like most areas are. And we also encourage what's called the Live Safe app. So that's something that our student life department talks about during the registration and orientation process. So the Live Safe app is kind of like the Lost My iPhone feature for an iPhone. I'm sure Samsung has something similar to it, but it's really the ability to log in and see on a virtual map where you're located at, where your device is. So a lot of kids ask me when I'm giving them a tour of campus and they're talking about the different things and we talk about campus safety. They ask, well, isn't that like spying? What if my mom and dad just look at me all the time? Or what if my girlfriend or my boyfriend are always checking in on me? It's not exactly that. What it is, it's a system where you pick your college campus and it just shows you the college map. So if you get outside of our campus and you go on a 3-hour trip somewhere, it's not like they're able to observe everything you're doing. It's really just a campus map. And you have to give that person permission to view your location. So it's something that families decide to do, and what's in their best interest is they can virtually sort of walk the student around and know they're okay. We also have the Tech Alert emergency texting system, which is a texting system for if you have an inclement weather emergency, or hopefully nothing more severe than that, or power outage or something like that. We have a texting system and an email system that lets you know when you don't have to report to campus. Service and learning is a huge part of the Golden Bear experience. Our students since 2016 have logged over 10,000 hours of community service with community partners and different projects. And what our students will do is they will have different holidays and events they will plan their activities around. For example, the photo you see there was taken during the Martin Luther King Jr. Day of Service, which is a day our students would be off of school otherwise, but they take that day and dedicate it to giving back to the community. And we also have alternative spring break, which is where students would sacrifice their spring break and actually do the same thing and go out into the community and help others. And really, this right here is going to be the breadth of my slides. This is really the last one that I have before I talk to you a little off the cuff about some different things. But campus success programs are a huge part of any college experience. I stress all of you, when you get to that age and you're going through that search process, ask what kind of services and resources that college can offer to you, because those can be very beneficial to you down the stretch of your college careers. We have accessibility services here that can accommodate any needs that you might have with classroom or otherwise. Personal counseling. We also have a student health clinic. The student health clinic is not just for physical ailments. We also have mental health counselors there as well. So the only person who knows if you sought out counseling is you and the counselor. It's completely private, it's completely confidential, and they are professionally licensed counselors on our staff that are there to help you out in your time of need, if you get to that point that you need them. We also have a Student Success Center. The Student Success Center helps you make your schedule for your first year, but they also help you with tutoring, and they will help provide you with a new advisor whenever the time comes after your freshman year to move you from a freshman advisor to a departmental advisor in your field of study. So to break that down, you'll start off day one and you'll have an advisor in a success center that's generically sort of helping the entire population of freshmen, but then they will move you over to a faculty member or a teacher in the field of study that you're pursuing a degree in, and they will eventually become your advisor. And we also have a student support services office on campus, which is grant funded through TRIO, works with the Upward Bound and different campus success programs like that. But when you come to WVU Tech, you not only get a great education, but you also have great resources at your disposal as well. So I have a question slide, but what I wanted to do was address the question about the tuition earlier, because I thought I had a tuition slide in here. I normally do. I think maybe I altered this before the presentation and slanted it a little differently for the middle school age group. But that is a very good question. Tuition is something that unfortunately in a lot of schools is going to rise a little bit each year. It's just kind of the nature of inflation that we live in today's world. But our tuition is normally going to be around that $7,500 to $8,000 range per year for an in-state student. And that's just ballparking it without pulling the book up and looking at it to the penny. But that you divide that by 2. So if it's $8,000 for the year, that's $4,000 per semester. So 4 for the fall, 4 for the spring. That does not include textbooks. Textbooks will be a few $100s more than that. And that does not include room and board. So if you're going to have a meal plan and you're going to live in our dorms, that's also going to up you about $10,000. So it gets pretty pricey, but there are scholarships available. There are grants available. I encourage everyone. This might be really crazy to tell to a group of students your age right now that have many more years. It might seem like many more years, but it'll go by quick. But when you get to high school, there's this thing called FAFSA. It's the free application for federal student aid. Might seem crazy to you now, a completely foreign term to you right now, but when you get to college, the FAFSA is going to help you figure out how you and your family are going to pay for all this. There are grants available. There are scholarships at every school available. We have what are called merit-based scholarships of distinction. So just by applying and sending us your high school transcripts and your ACT or SAT scores, we're automatically going to give you a scholarship if you qualify for it. You don't even have to apply for our scholarships. We give them to you based off of your academic merit. But once you get to that age, there are a lot of opportunities, and if all else fails, FAFSA does assist you in getting student loans too. Now, obviously, loans you have to pay back. Grants are free. Scholarships are free. Loans you have to pay back with interest. But there will be the opportunity to get you to college for sure. So, do we have any other questions or anything that maybe was entered in the chat or anything like
Well, I
that?
haven't seen anything entered in the chat yet, but I do want to open it up to any kind of questions that the students may have at this time. Another thing that I always like to ask at the end of our visits is I would like to hear from the students and something that they found very positive, or something that makes this college unique. So something positive about this college, or something unique about this college. And while people are figuring out their questions or their comments about what's positive and unique about this college, I like that WVU Tech is a small college, but like you said, it's still very diverse. And I think that having two campus options, being in Montgomery and also in Beckley, is that still, well, you
Well,
guys are just
actually,
in Beckley now. You just
yeah,
moved from
actually, but
Montgomery
that
to
is
Beckley.
just to point out
That's
to the
right.
rest of
That's
the
right.
group. Yeah, we were founded in Montgomery, West Virginia, back in 1895. We saw an opportunity at a great campus and a very centralized population hub, and we did move our operations to Beckley back in the 2016-2017 school year. So for anyone who is asking, we are strictly, our
Okay.
campus
Sorry
is
about
strictly
that.
Beckley.
I
It's
knew
okay.
that. And when I said it, I knew it
Well,
was
no, I
wrong.
think what
Yes.
gotcha is we are a multi-campus system within WVU. So you have Morgantown, you have Kaiser, and you have Beckley. So
Yeah.
that's an easy slip up for sure.
So we have a comment that says that the students love the location with all the things to do nearby, like the New River Gorge and all the outside activities.
Definitely. That's definitely a big highlight of our campus, is that even if the urban vibe in the city of Beckley is not for you, you're just a few minutes away from any kind of rural outdoor activity that you want to take part in.
Yeah. They also like the safety and police aspect on campus that would make them feel safe. And I
Certainly.
agree. That is
Same.
a very nice thing to know, that safety is a priority.
Oh, yeah. And it's very comfortable to me knowing like where my office is. We're in the admissions house here on campus in the Welcome Center. It's really nice knowing that there is a certified police officer, firearm carrying, someone who can assist me within literally shouting distance from where I'm at. So that's great.
So they also like that the small school feeling, because this particular school is a small school as well in Southern West Virginia. So they like that you all have that aspect to them too.
Yeah, definitely. It's in my opinion, when I'm making decisions in life, it can be more than just your education decisions. It can be a variety of things. How the relatability is always a big guiding factor in my moral compass. How well can I relate to the area that I'm going to? So definitely, I love the relatability just to the region.
Absolutely. Well, I'm not seeing any other questions or comments coming through. So Jordan, are there any final remarks that you would like to make to the kids that are on our visit today?
First of all, I just want to say I appreciate you all listening to me today. I know it's a different class flow today when you get something like this. So I appreciate you guys being respectful and hearing me out. I also want to let you know that I definitely commend you guys and give you a pat on the back for the adjustment and the pivoting that you all have had to go through. I can't begin to relate to what you all have gone through in your education just with the pandemic and the shifting from virtual to on campus. There's no way I could have survived it. So you guys just sitting where you're at today, really give yourself a pat on the back, and be sure to take pride in the ability to pivot in a moment's notice, because that will benefit you later in life, because there is so much change that will hit you in your life, and being able to adjust to that is really going to be the true measure of human that you become. So first of all, I appreciate that. And second of all, I wanted to say, although I'm happy to talk to every school here, I definitely want to say I love the energy that Montcom has brought today. I love you guys. Thank you for coming out today. If you guys ever need anything from WVU Tech, we're not that far away. Just give us a call, and maybe even if your teachers ever want to set up a campus visit or something in the future, not trying to put words in anyone's mouth and get a teacher in trouble, But if you guys ever want to come and visit campus, any of the schools for that matter, we do have a group visit campus form on our website. All you have to do is go to wvutech.edu, and there is a visit tech button at the top, and we'll set you up with someone who can coordinate a visit. We'd love to have any of you up.
Thank you so much for guiding us on today's virtual visit.